Welcome back to another episode with Mystic Scales, and Fae Tales
Podcast.
I'm your host, Jennifer.
And I'm your host, Leigh.
And we are a fantasy, dystopian, and romance podcast. We are very happy because we are in the middle of a series right now. So if you are joining us for the first time, welcome. But you might want to listen up for the rest of this because you might want to come back, depending if you don't want to start in the middle of a series. But we, with our 600 member book club, yes, our 600 member active book club that you can join right now on the app Fable, are in the middle of reading through the Grishaverse by Leigh Bardugo. So we read Six of Crows, we read Cook a Kingdom, and we read Shadow and Bone. And now today we are talking about the second book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which is Siege and Storm. We previously did an episode before this where we reviewed chapters 1 through 12. So this episode we are going to go to chapters 12 through the end of that book. And then our plans are to continue with this. We like breaking it down, even though this isn't like a hefty book to break down, so we didn't necessarily need to. But it's kind of fun to predict as we're going and break it and, you know, just piece through it, I guess. And then we're reading along with our book club. If you join for the first time, you'll see on the app Fable, if you look up Mystic Scales and Fae Tales Podcast, you just look up Fae Tales, honestly, it comes up. And we go through every chapter, we write notes, we write comments, reactions, and we add fan art, so you get like a visual of it. And we take about a month to read each book. So if you're joining for a reread or first time reading, feel free to come on now. Everything's saved in the archives too, so if you decide to start with Shadow and Bone and then come back to us, they're very quick reads.
For sure.
You can join us. So our book club will be starting the third book, which is Run and Rising. I keep wanting to say Red Rising because the cover is red.
Yeah, and it's a very similar vibe.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll be done with Shadow and Bone. We will then move on to the King of Scars duology, because there's two more in the Grishaverse.
Just keeps coming.
And then we'll be done for the podcast. I mean, when there is a graphic novel as well that I'm sure Leigh and I will read, but not necessarily with the book club. And then there is a Letters from Ketterdam short stories that are coming out this fall, I think. So we'll definitely read those when it come out, and we can talk about it on here, but we won't necessarily be doing it with the book club. So that's where the book club will end. And then to end my monologue, we will finish it out with Leigh and I watching for the first time the Shadow and Bone series on Netflix that was unfortunately canceled after season 2. And I've already seen season 1 before reading the book, so it's going to be really fun to watch it together now that we know the context of the story. I think I covered it all.
So we're very excited about the TV show. I want to have some kind of like watch party or something with our people. And I don't know how many people in the book club have watched. And
I know.
I'd be curious. We should do a poll or something like when we get closer to the time. Because that would be fun. I know. You saw that one of our friends, like, she was ready when you changed it to book 3. She was like, I got notes.
She beeline. She finished the series already and finished the TV show. And the good thing is, like, we don't need to read King of Scars before watching the TV show because I don't think they got that far to include it.
Yeah.
So, like, we don't have to wait, like 2 more months. Like, we could just watch it.
Yeah.
So that'll be really fun.
It's funny, too, because I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I mean, we still have one more book, so a lot can change and, like, characters can grow. But I was kind of like, I don't really need to keep reading about Nikolai. Like, I don't know. Like,
wow, you might be the only person in our club that doesn't love him.
I mean, he's good. She writes him very well, but I think just at the end of this book, I was just like, meh. Like, okay. I mean, it's a big a lot of events happen at the very end where it's
only the end of the book.
Yeah. And I just kept thinking about what you said in last episode when we talked about like Leigh's panel and everything and the mushy middle, and this book felt very like victim to that.
The whole book felt like a mushy middle. It's the mushy middle of the series, or mushy middle of the trilogy. Honestly,
Yeah.
like we came on to record, and I told Leah, I was like, I don't remember anything that happened in this book because I feel like nothing happened, which
It,
obviously things did, but it wasn't
yeah.
impactful.
No, it's very much like building up and very much like characters kind of settling into who they are and what their path is and how that very much is separating from where we started, you know? So, uh,
But before we dive in, just want to say spoilers ahead.
mhm.
So if you are not looking for spoilers for Season Storm, Six of Crows, Crooked Kingdom, and the first Shadow and Bone, because we will evidently mention it all most likely, um, take a come back, check out
Yeah.
our other episodes, check out our mini episode, check out all the other fun stuff we do. Or if you don't
Yeah.
care, go ahead and listen. Like, who
Have some
cares?
fun. Yeah.
Have some fun. And actually, we probably honestly give a great breakdown if you didn't want to read if you only want to read Six of Crows and you didn't
True.
want to read Shadow and Bone, you could
Yeah.
probably just listen to our episodes and you get a summary of the entire thing.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. Um,
Okay, so let's get into this. So we ended last episode where we got to the end of chapter 12, and you have to remind me of some of the recap. I think that Nikolai, and all of them, Mal, after the boat has crashed, after the Peter Pan boat has crashed,
mhm.
post what is it, the middle, what's this called?
Like the mountain or the sea?
No, no, what's the dark stuff called in this book? The fold, the fold.
Oh, the
I'm
fold.
thinking of. We're
The,
also.
the
Side note:
middle.
Lee and I are in the middle of Rites of Starling
Oh,
by Daphne
yes.
Perry, which is the second book in second book in Shield of Sparrows. So I feel like I'm trying to learn all the terminology with that book. So I'm just like, what is this one? The
Yeah.
fold? The what? Yeah.
No,
Anyway,
that's fair. There's a lot, especially
it's a lot.
between the two, and they're very like unique.
Fantasies. We love reading fantasy,
Hmm.
but they just Peter Pan boat crashed, everything. People lived, and then the crown people found them, and Nikolai's like, "I'm Stormhond and Nikolai." Um,
Da-da-da.
and so then they got to the little palace. So that's where we pick up, where they're meeting up with they're just hanging out with the king and queen. So Nikolai's parents, and he's seeing them for the first time in a couple of years. And the
Mm-hmm.
brother is there,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a little family. I think it's really funny that she mentioned when they get there that like they go into a different room, the family, and like her and Mal don't know what to do, so they just like stand
Oh, they're
there
just kind of
and
there.
they're like,
Yeah.
do we go? Like it feels like we're done. And then they let them stand there for like an hour and then they come back and
Yeah.
they're like, hee hee hee, our family time's
Yeah.
over. Like that is such a thing that like royals would do. Like, they don't give a shit
Mm-hmm.
about the young like the lower people, but they're still gonna make them
Mm-hmm.
wait around for no reason. So I was like, that's just so funny to imagine. I was like,
Yeah, especially because like there's a lot of like uncertainty around like is Nikolai a bastard? But like he's the mom's favorite, and there's just like a lot of kind of like poking the bear around that, and like you do feel for him. I think there's a couple other moments like you pointed out last episode where you see him as being like just kind of a kid, and like you see the vulnerability of like moments like when people call attention to that. But yeah, so you kind of see the royal family, and then Alina has to go and kind of like stake her claim and be like, I'm
yep.
gonna be in charge of the second army, and
Which the king and
basically,
queen were not happy about that at first. Took
right.
them a lot to convince them to say yes to that because they're just like,
Yeah,
you were like the Darkling's pet, and now you're here.
literally.
And what did they do for Mal? They didn't pardon him. They said he had to honorably discharge.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
not honorably,
Dishonorably. Yeah.
dishonorably.
Which, like, Alina can tell, like, bothers him.
Of course it does.
Um, you just feel for Mal this
Oh,
whole
he should have been
time.
the main character of this series.
That would be
Fine.
so interesting if he was.
It's fine.
Especially
We'll
because,
give him
like, we
perspective.
still think that he has some kind of power, right? Like, I'm still on that train.
Yes, probably.
Like, I think there's something.
But
But
that's
we're
funny if they both hit it. Like that would just be, and it wouldn't
true.
also make any sense because like
True.
you get weaker and he hasn't gotten weaker, he's always been strong. But our one of our book club members is thinking that he's just an amplifier. So like he
Mm.
necessarily wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't empower himself. He just amplifies somebody else. So it's like he's Alina's amplifier. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a great theory. Because then, like, yeah, if he would technically have powers, but it's not going to drain him for not using his powers, quote unquote. Because what is he going to do? He's not around the Grisha. So it works out. The
Yeah.
theory. Yeah, so then you're right. She needs to stake her claim. So she's going back to her petty little school friends, everyone that was left. And one of them happened to be Jenia's boyfriend. What's his name?
Oh
Or
yeah,
not boyfriend?
David.
David, boyfriend, not boyfriend,
Yes.
who can barely look
Yes.
Alina in the eyes and is
Oh
so
man.
feeling guilty about putting the collar on her that we discussed last episode that we can't figure out how it's on her body.
Which
I
we
still can't.
still nope.
Still
Nope.
can't figure it out.
Nope.
So that was kind of crazy. And yeah, so then she does her little magic to be like, I'm powerful, and cracks the ceiling. And people kind of respect her. The one thing I did like that she did was she told them all that they need to start mingling amongst
Oh
themselves
yeah.
with the
Yeah.
Grisha because they're so like in their little fractions of this and that. And she's like, no, if we're gonna like take down the Darkling, then we're gonna take down Darkling. And the whole thing is like they need to prepare for the Darkling's inevitable attack with his what are they called? His like his shadow
I don't
demons.
know. I don't know how to pronounce it. You said the audiobook like it sounded really cool,
It did.
but I
I can't do it though.
they're just like the nothing creatures, which
Yeah, the translation is nothing. Yeah.
yeah. And they seem to be like the real threat. Like it's not really so
Yes.
much the Darkling, it's just like what he has created with these things. And like we talked about before, like Alina has some kind of connection to them and to him with like the bite she got.
Harry Potter
So
scar. Yes,
yeah, so she's
that's what I'm
very
calling it.
much like aware of them, afraid of them, knows that her light can harm them. This is the part of the book that like felt kind of juvenile to me, I guess, was their like battle plans and everything. And I think we commented before that like her what is her power and how is this like I don't know. Like David is working hard to like amplify her power in like a more concrete way, like not through her actual amplifiers, but he's building these like discs. And I'm just like,
Which
what are
I
we?
also read as dishes when I first saw it, and I was like,
Oh, I mean, like
dishes?
I was thinking like satellites basically,
Yeah, no,
but that
yeah, you're
she's
right.
like
It's
gonna
it's like
bounce
solar
her.
panels essentially.
Yeah. But I'm like, so you're just gonna stand on this roof and hit your light into these dishes and I just thought it was stupid. Like I'm sorry to the
I
author.
mean, it was supposed to be juvenile because it doesn't work out. So you're right, not to
I
jump ahead, but
mean,
like,
yeah, I was like,
I think
what?
it's showing like how naive they are, and it's in terms of like they don't know war, which is true. Like Alina
Yeah.
doesn't know what she's doing,
But at the
and
same
that's
time,
so
like they
true.
were in like war camps, so in a way they do know.
Well,
So
she
I don't
wouldn't
know.
because she was only in the map parts of it. So like she knows
Yeah,
those
so like
skills really well.
she's not seeing combat, but like I don't know. They were still like marching and like suffering and part of the
Nikolai would know
army.
more as he was actually in fighting on
True.
the
Yeah.
line. So, which he
I
does comment a lot on the plans.
yeah. I don't know. I thought it was silly that they got all excited that one night when she burned like half the forest. I was like, it just like it also just felt like too good to be true, and I think that was what it was supposed to be, you know. And then you kind of see that reflected in Mal when
Get it
he's like,
reflected.
no pun intended. But yeah, he's like not excited about it.
He probably knew from like the jump that he was like, "This is stupid."
Yeah, probably.
So we also have a scene where she visits the Darkling's mother. What's her name again?
Oh, Bagra.
Bagra. I almost said Madra. I don't know what book that's from. Um, Bagra.
Something.
And she's now blind. The Darkling has,
Yeah, like no
which
eyeballs.
Leigh Bardugo, not you, Lee, has something with eyes, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because it's like grueling, I guess. But like she does
Yeah.
it in like all of her literature you've read
Yeah.
so far, where like somebody is like stabbed through the eye, gouged through the eye, like nothing else. She only does eyes, and maybe that's like her
Yeah.
way of being like horror, but like not
Mm-hmm.
too gory, that you're
Mm-hmm.
not like, I'm gonna put this down kind of thing. But I just was like,
Yeah.
what is up with, like, she has like an eye fetish, like what is up with it?
Yeah, there's definitely something there, and like we've said this before, but like she really is pretty gruesome. Like there are scenes, like there's
She
one
doesn't
at
hold
the
back.
end where I think it's Marie, um, and the description of her death. I was like, am I like I don't want to even picture what I'm reading because it's so graphic. And that happens in Shield of Sparrows too at the end. Spoilers to that.
Oh, the first book, yeah.
Yeah, where people are just torn apart. And yeah, I was like, this is supposed to be like, not like for children, but like this is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. And like you don't expect it, I guess, because like you're reading, and then you're just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure, okay.
Yeah. To the point where you're almost like, you got to go back and read it to make sure. And you're like,
It
but I
really
didn't want,
happened.
yeah. But anyway, so she goes to visit the mom, and the poor woman has been through it.
And she's pissed that Alina's back.
Yeah.
I would be too. I'm like, I risked everything for you to get out of here. I basically
Yeah.
lost my eyes for you. And then now you're coming back like, hey, can you help me
And
find the
like,
third amplifier? And she's like, no, I can't.
no. She's also like finally like lost her son,
Yeah,
you know?
like her last hope of
Right.
saving him.
Right. And I thought that was a big deal too. But yeah, Alina was kind of whiny in that scene where she was like, she just like flips so much. She got angry like really quickly, and I like that's supposed to be her like leaning into the darkness and everything. But yeah, she really like flipped on background. I was like, damn girl, like
But she
she
just
really
like went
tried
in
to
there
help
expecting
you.
her to solve all her problems. That's why she
Yeah.
was just like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go meet her. She's gonna know what this, like, she knew about the first two. She's gonna know what the third one is. Like, it's a great idea, and then like it doesn't work out, and it's like, yeah, no shit doesn't work out. First off, it shouldn't be that easy for you.
Right.
A
Right.
and like again, like how does she expect so much from Badra after being like, so I didn't like go with your plan, and now you lost your eyes, but like that's fucked
And
up.
the country is suffering even more. Yeah.
I think she doesn't
Yeah.
like realize that, like, I think Alina's starting to realize like the consequences of her actions. Like I think that's what's been hard for her, and like
Yeah.
which is like great like concept to explore in these fantasy books, because like, you know, they are fighting this evil or whatever the case may be, and they're focusing on what's in front of them, but they're not realizing how much that has a bigger effect on the rest of the world that they're in.
Right.
So like, again, we're gonna mention Shield Sparrows because it's great, but like Shield Sparrows does this too, where they're like, as we're in the second book, like they're realizing how much not everyone's like aware of everything that happened in the first book, so
Yeah.
it's affecting like the common people in that.
Yeah.
And she's just like, why is that happening? Why is the word not getting out, or whatever the case may be? And it's like, yeah, you see the ripple effect of the consequences of one person's actions. So I think Alina is still going through that to learn it, because like I think she saw it when they were past that town that was near the fold that got, like, everyone died, and like they had the church and everyone's name, and she wanted to remember everyone's name. I thought that was a beautiful moment. And so like maybe she's slowly starting to realize, like, yes, not just the deaths, but like everything else, like everything she's doing, she's in a huge position of power. So I think that's something that she's trying to
Yeah.
grapple with. At the same time, while she's learning to grapple with the position of power she's in, she's also dealing with the fact that people are idolizing her, and how to not lead into that either, because you don't want to just like like she knows she's not a saint. Like she's like, I'm not just gonna be like, I'm a saint now.
Right. Right.
And then on top of that, she didn't have any powers before this. Now she has powers. Like, it's a lot to grapple with. So these outbursts do make sense, but they are
Yeah.
frustrating as a reader,
Yeah.
obviously.
I will say, like, it's definitely like Leigh is doing a good job of really taking us through Alina's like journey. I feel like there's a lot of like ups and downs and ebbs and flows, and you really are kind of like thinking like why is she acting that way, or like why is this like where her thought process is. And I appreciate that, and more than it just kind of being like shoved at you. Like I don't know. I feel like we are like growing and like understanding her more.
Definitely from the first book.
Yeah. So like I don't think she's my favorite character, but I can appreciate like just being on this journey with her, I guess. I think again, like it just calls back to like what we've said before, and like I think it was your coworker who said it's the story is a lot about like what kind of happens to her. It's not necessarily like it's her story, but it's really like the world of like the Grisha that's happening.
And she's just like plopped in the middle of it.
Yeah, and she's like our guide through it. And that's kind of an interesting way to look at this, an interesting way to look at like the writing and like the growth of Leigh as an author, which we've talked about many a time before, right? Whereas like I would not say that Six of Crows is just you're plopped in that world. Like no, you're very much with those characters. So I like seeing this as like her stepping stone, you know?
It is. I think the only thing that bothers me is that like she's doing a great job of showing Alina's journey and we're learning, but like I'm it's not we're talking about as we're talking about it and like discussing it. That's where I'm like learning more and thinking about her perspective because I'm talking about it and being like, okay, let's piece it apart. Why is she acting like this? If I wasn't doing that with you or the book club, I wouldn't see that as much. Like maybe yes,
Yeah.
because we are those kind of readers where we break everything apart. But if you're not that kind of reader, that's just like just reading or not just reading. Everyone's like comprehending what you're reading. But if you're just like not like, oh, I'm going to psychoanalyze every chapter of this whole book, then you're not going to get that. And that bothers me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it should be a mix of the two. Like, I should be able to, like, let's leave the page and, like, talk about it. But I also could be on
Sure.
the page and I can understand her character. I feel like this is a story where you struggle with that. Of being like, okay, I see Alina because we just talked about it for 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
not, I'm seeing it. I mean, the best example is Katniss, obviously. Like, Katniss, you can see so much of what she's feeling and understand her.
Yeah.
And then you understand her more because you psychoanalyze her and take her off the page to talk about it. But you're getting it throughout the entire story. And it's just, I'm not seeing it as much. I would
Yeah.
even say with Red Queen, as I'm reading Red Queen, it's the same thing. Like, you can easily understand that character, and then you understand it more when you take it off the page to talk about it.
That's interesting. Yeah. I agree. I think like I could have just easily, picked this up, read it, put it back down, and been
Yeah, you
like,
breeze past her.
yeah, be like, add it to the list. Like I read that, which yeah, isn't usually our favorite thing. So,
Yeah, it's not a fun way to, and that's probably why we don't feel so connected to her, honestly, and why we're just like, okay, at least we're getting something from her, and I'm like looking for these nuggets and holding on to them, like, oh,
yeah.
this one moment, like
Yeah.
it's not exciting, and then we're holding on to Mal more and being like, he should have been the main character because we're seeing more of him as we're reading,
Right.
and we could take it off the page and talk about it. It's a mix
Right.
of both.
Right. Yeah, we see the potential there and we want that because we're not seeing that on the page.
I think it's funny because I was going to ask you if you think that Leigh, as an author, is just better at writing a male's perspective. But I didn't know if I fully agreed with that question either because I think that she was like really well done with writing Inej and Nina's perspective.
Yeah.
So and I know she said she struggled with writing Nina at first and then the character came to her.
Yeah.
But Inej's story and the way she's written is is just gorgeous. And obviously
Mm-hmm.
that's we just said like this was a stepping stone. So like I wonder what it is about her male characters that always shine
Yeah.
more to us than her female characters. And I feel like I
Yeah.
haven't seen that with an author
Yeah,
recently at least.
that's very interesting actually. Um, because the male characters are definitely more compelling.
But this isn't a situation where we've read other fantasies that are rooted in adult, like where the males are always interesting and the females are annoying. And we've said
Yeah.
that before, where we're like,
Yeah.
oh, the females are really annoying. Like they're just like catty, or
Yeah.
they're just like I don't care about them. Like that's not the
Mm-hmm.
case with Lee's writing at all, because I don't think that any of her
Mm-mm.
characters are necessarily annoying. Same with Six of
Mm-mm.
Crows, same with Shadow and Bone. I don't think Alina's annoying. I mean, like the first book, she was like, what is happening? But she's not annoying. She's not like
Right.
Quicksilver, or she's like that girl. I forgot her name.
Yeah.
And she's not like even other fantasy we've read. You know, where the main
Mm-hmm.
character girl, you're like, ugh, this is a lot. But yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
wonder what it is about the male characters. Like, is she just has more fun with them? Is that what it is? I don't
Yeah, I don't
know.
know. I mean, I guess I don't know. She's so good at like quips and stuff like that. So I'm like, is it that or like? But then when you think about it, because like Mal and Matthias are kind of the same. That like very like strong-willed, one track only, protective male.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not. I feel like that kind of character can easily be like stiff, like a cardboard cutout, and hers aren't like that, which
No.
is interesting too. So I don't know.
I would love to hear her talk about it. Maybe if we go to another panel with her.
Yeah, we got
Just be like, do
questions.
you find it easier to write male characters, or do you think it's the
Yeah,
same? Or because her
yeah,
perspective would be like, no, they're both the same. Like a character's a
right.
character. But then, like as a reader, we're seeing it differently than what she is as the writer. So I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, like we're connecting more. And maybe that's just like is it? You guys let us know. Is it an us thing? Are we just connecting
Maybe.
more with the male characters than the females? Are we being prejudiced against our fellow female characters,
Mm.
or is it just something in the way that she's writing them that there's more mystery to them maybe, or more intrigue of wanting to pull them apart,
Hmm.
where with Alina we're not seeing that. Even
Hmm.
though, okay, I'm going to counter my own argument right now.
Okay.
I do think that with Jenya and
Zoya.
Zoya, they are more intriguing. So maybe it's just Alina. Like
So,
maybe.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think like Zoya and Genya, which I'm sorry, I still want to say Genya like every time I read it. But I think like they could easily fall into the annoying category,
Oh wow, really?
but she gives them a backstory and
Hmm.
like tragedy that keeps them from being that. Because like even Zoya in this book, she talks about her family that she lost in one of those small villages because she had like a
Hmm.
sister and like nieces or nephews or something. So that gave her like more depth and like reason to like care about this. So she wasn't, because we talked before about her just being like vapid and annoying. I mean, she still has her moment with Mal, which was annoying, but that's typical of, we had
That
a
was
love
classic
triangle.
teen,
Yeah,
like not
yeah.
even teen like love, like teen angst or teen jealousy. Like that was perfect.
Yeah,
I loved
yeah.
it.
And I thought she handled it pretty well because like it didn't like linger, there weren't like chapters and chapters of miscommunication. So, but yeah, I don't think that those two female characters are in the same annoying, like dumb category.
And we also want to learn. And again, we're not saying Alina is, but we also want to like learn more about them. We feel like they're more fleshed.
Hmm.
So yeah,
I mean,
maybe that was her stepping stone. Maybe Alina was her like just let's just try it, let's start,
sure.
and like we mentioned last episode, she even said in her panel that she felt like when she started out, she was mimicking a lot of what she's read and what others done. So it seemed like she had to find her voice. So maybe that's what Alina was like.
Hmm.
That's her stepping stone. I keep saying stepping stone. That was her whiteboard to start, and to piece around everything, and that's probably why
Right.
it feels like everything's just happening to her and not her doing things. And that's the journey this writer has to go on to find her voice with these main characters. And so I think it's even more intriguing that it was like her next step after this was to say, let's write 6 point of views then. And it's just
Yeah.
like, rather than one, like she already struggled with the one, so you wouldn't think you would
Yeah.
then go, let's do six. And
Mm-hmm.
it worked so well for her, the
Mm-hmm.
six. So it's so intriguing, especially as like a reader or a future writer, and just thinking about like the
For
concept
sure.
of that and like how she
Yeah.
decided to just go like, I struggled with the one, so let me do six instead. Like you wouldn't,
Yeah,
and
casually.
third person, like
Right.
it's just
Right.
crazy.
But okay, what do you think of the Darkling in this book and
I still think he
his
was creepy as
character?
hell. I don't understand what's like. What am I supposed to feel about this man? I still don't understand.
Yeah.
So throughout this, quick recap for our listeners. Throughout this rest of the book, she still has her scar, and that's her theory. Is that she's come. That's the connection they have. And he's like coming to her all the time and like scaring the crap out of her
Mm-hmm.
and being there, and like he could basically like touch her and talk to her, and he's like everywhere she looks she sees him, and he's basically making her
Yeah.
go crazy. And then
Yeah.
towards the end he like kisses her when she's like asleep, which was gross. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Like, is she just
Yeah.
right? Like, are we just seeing like the worst kind of person, like a creepy guy? Like we're supposed to hate him, right? There's no like redemption arc
I don't
coming,
think
because
so.
this is just like it's just weird.
It is weird. And
I'm not
yeah,
liking it.
the fact that he still wants to kiss her is I'm I'm very thrown off and I'm very
I,
put
is
off.
it romance or obsession? Like, does he like genuinely like her,
I
or
don't
he's just like
know.
obsessed with her, or he just like wants a mate? Like, I don't,
I think
or power thing.
it's a power thing, but
Okay, cool.
I don't know why he has to like claim her in that way.
Yeah,
Like the scene where she like thinks it's Mal was weird and it was really him in her bed. And
yeah,
then when she like finally kind of I'm gonna say gives up, but like he catches them and traps them and like she has to like give herself over to him and the first thing she does is kiss him. Like I understood after that when she was like sucking the power out of him, but the first I don't know. I was like, why is that the move? I could just
like why
imagine.
is it? Yeah, why is a kiss the thing?
I
Because like
don't
I was
know.
imagining that he's seeing her as like an object, like a possession, in terms of like he doesn't see her as human, but more of like a weapon, like an amplifier or
Yeah.
something. So you wouldn't think that he would then put not romantic, but like sexual intentions behind that. So like the
Yeah.
kiss is weird. So it just like I'm not really getting it.
No. And then how do you like what do you make of the fact that he didn't kill the sea whip? She did. Like how does that because he killed the stag, right? So that he could take the power and like attach it to her to control her. But
Yes.
he doesn't kill the like sea dragon. She does.
Yeah.
And I think she says at some point like there was a reason for that or like imagine if he had done it and like what kind of power he would have wielded.
Because he could pull from both from her, and he's an
Yeah.
amplifier.
And
Yeah,
like
I don't
what would that have
understand it.
done? And then I'm like, what does he know about the Firebird? And is that I don't
Like,
know.
what
Like,
happens?
does
Like,
he
who kills
know?
what? Like, who kills? He
Right?
definitely knows. Yeah, he's looking for it. He definitely knows. But
So then,
I don't really. Again, we don't understand her magic to begin with. So I don't understand how it works with like. I guess because she claimed it, like it's hers, so he can't like pull from her. I'm imagining like he
yeah.
could literally like see her, like not see her, but feel
Yeah.
her power, and he can like literally pull it. And maybe if she's too far, he can't because. But then like maybe she has that autonomy with the sea dragon. But
But
yeah, so
then
then what? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, at the end when she's pulling from him,
I was gonna ask about that.
like, how did that work? Is that because, like, did she have, like, equal power to him?
I
So
think they're
she,
trying to say that it's like a open tunnel. So like their powers are connected in that. So it's like the,
so why
again,
would he
this is
allow
why
that?
it's like Harry and Voldemort.
Yeah.
Where it's basically Harry and Voldemort. And it's like one can use the other in a way and drain the other and like can see from the other, and it's like they're just essentially they're like one thing. And so you could like turn off, I guess it's similar to like our mates in the other fantasy books where they can use each other's powers in a
Oh,
way.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
But do you
so
think did he just underestimate her and assume that she would fall to his whims?
probably.
Or, well, I mean, I thought it was great when she was sucking him dry. I was like, you go, girl. Like, finally
Yeah,
you
wait,
can do
remind me of what
something.
happens. Recap it for me. So,
Okay,
like,
so yeah, they get, well, there's so much we could talk about. Okay, so first, she goes and she has to like take her midnight walk, whatever. And she stumbles upon the people who are the fanatics and
mm-hmm.
who worship her as a saint. And she gets nearly trampled. And then the twins come and save her. And it turns out that they're part of this faction
They're
of
super
people
religious. Yeah.
with the priest. And they have collected this army of normal people called the Sun Saints,
I
maybe
think, well, she
something.
sunk the Unleash, so probably.
Yeah, which they end up like saving her life in the end when the nothing creatures come and they're at their last hope. Because there's only like six or something Grisha left,
Yeah, all the Grisha were trampled and destroyed.
and it's just totally destroyed. So, like the twins come, they have their army. The priest they figure out has been there's like a tunnel in the chapel that he's been like
Coming in and out of, and that's
moving
how he
through.
escaped. Yeah.
Yeah. So they go to the chapel because they're going to go through the tunnels to escape. But then the Darkling is there. And I also felt like I was like, really? Like, he really trapped you in there? Like, I don't know. I thought they were going to get out or something. So they have like a little standoff. And then basically, like, Alina gives herself like back over to the Darkling. And, she's going to leave Mal and whatever. And she goes and she kisses him, and as she's like kissing him, it's like a dementor basically, like she starts sucking out his power and he's like baffled and like can't stop her, and that's when she kind of like succumbs to her dark side. She's like, yes, this is like the real me, like I feel it, I crave it, whatever, and her hair turns white. And I guess because he gets so weak that they're able to get away. And so, like,
Like, did she unleash the power or no?
I don't think so. I think they
Okay,
just,
that's what I
like,
couldn't
drain it
remember.
from him. And then, but she's still, like, weak. So they end up, like, getting her. She and Mal get, like, hurt. And so they get them, they have to carry them out. And I guess they heal him before they really heal her. And that's when she like sees herself and she's nothing like she used to be.
Yeah, white hair.
Yeah.
This is great because all the fan art we've seen is white hair, so now we understand what
Right.
happened. Even though
Which
I totally forgot.
yeah, I fully thought that was going to happen with the bird. I thought she was going to get the bird, she was going to get
Yes,
power from
same.
the bird, and
Same.
I didn't think it was going to be like a draining of power. I thought it was going to be like a surge of power turned it. Like, not white per se, but like platinum.
Her light, yeah, her light
Yeah,
is powering through
yeah.
her and her hair.
So
Yeah, I agree.
I was incorrect. But the Darkling's still kicking. Like, she didn't kill him.
It's not gonna be that easy to kill him. Lee, what are they gonna face in the third book?
The whole time
think
I was like,
I'm more of like they're describing this huge civil war, right? Especially like in Six of Crows, and I'm like, where's the war? Like
yeah,
this felt like nothing. Like it felt like
yeah,
one small attack, And then, like, I guess because they're getting together with other places, like, he got, like, the shoe on his side or the Fjordans.
The
So, like, I
Fjordans,
guess that
yeah.
makes sense. But, like,
Yeah.
we're not seeing little battles. We're not seeing, like, it affect the common people that much. Like, as they were going through, like, yes, they were all talking about her as a saint and stuff. And obviously the town that got affected from the fold expanding. But, like, otherwise, it doesn't feel like a war is happening. I mean, I guess they did say, like, all the Grisha are fleeing to Ozolta and, like, staying
yeah.
there. So, like, maybe that's it. But, like, I'm seeing less of civil war and more of just, like, this man
Well,
is just
and
coming to take over and you're just letting him.
right. And this battle, like they wiped them all out. So I'm like, okay, so who's like, yeah,
Like,
you
what's
got your
left?
fanatics now, but like what? So I agree. And it just I did like the twist like of the older prince, the brother being an idiot and
That was fun.
making the deal with the Fjordans and they tricked him and that's how they got in. Everybody died. That was a great scene.
And he
But
died.
yeah, he did die. He got his arm ripped off.
She said, we're killing him. And I said, okay, we're killing him, girl. Like, it's fine. He's annoying.
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah.
now Nikolai doesn't, no offense to him, but now Nikolai doesn't have to fight his way to the top. He is
So true. So
from his
true.
brother's own stupidity, which I kind of liked. Because then it's not something that'll be on Nikolai's conscience either. Because this is his brother's own fault.
Right. He didn't have to like kill him or anything.
Yeah, or fight him or whatever. And the mom and the dad made it out, right?
Yes, which I was kind of surprised that the dad did.
Yeah, he sounds like he's barely kicking. Like, I was like, very confused.
Yeah, I don't know if like does one more book give us a war? It feels strange.
I don't know what we're trying to accomplish. I really don't. Like okay, so I guess our goal is to get the third amplifier so she could take down the fold and destroy him, or taking down the fold would weaken him, I guess, and
Yeah.
destroy him. So then
Yeah.
like I also don't understand because okay, isn't there supposed to always be a darkling? Like isn't that what they were talking about? Like he gets like this gets passed
But
down.
it's
But I guess because he didn't have any kids.
but it's always
and like
him.
he's
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right. Right. That was just like something they believed. Like that's not actually true. So I guess it doesn't need to always be a darkling then. But like I'm like, what does if he dies? Does another one get created? You know, like is this like a down the line? Because like what was
Yeah.
Badra's the mom's powers? Like was she a darkling essentially before having him? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I don't know.
who actually was? Which the graphic novel I think is a prequel. So we'll learn what happens.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, we'll need to because I need the context. I need it. I am desperately confused. But you know what? This conversation is making me excited to pick up book 3 because I think I'm so much at this point where I just want the answers and I want this to end. Like I want to know what happens. Like let's get to our final goal, especially because like the first book was so hard to find. The first amplifier, the second book went okay. We found it immediately, and then now we're like, okay, are you gonna find the third one or
Right, the third
what?
one feels impossible.
Even though, like, right before this final fight happened, like, Mal and them found a lead and they were just about to leave to go to that lead. So it's like now they have no choice but to go all together because what are they going to do?
Right. Right. Yeah. That was kind of heartbreaking when Mel was like, it's got to be me. So I don't know why we're talking about this. Like, just send me. And I was like, yeah, it does.
We didn't talk about Mal. Let's talk about Mal's journey. Yeah, this
Okay.
poor guy pushed to the side by her, like, barely given the love he needed, you know? And he gets so depressed. He's drinking. He's fighting in the fighting pits. All because Alina didn't know how to tell him that she flinched when he tried to kiss her because the Darkling showed up.
Right.
Like, totally
and
understandable.
then, yeah. And then she tells him so randomly. And then they never get to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to talk about this. And then the Darkling shows up and there's no chance. And
That's not a priority, yeah.
yeah. And I think by the end, it's kind of like she basically feels like Mal is afraid of her.
Which should be.
Which
He doesn't know who she
makes
is.
sense. Well, yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, there were a lot of moments where uh like Alina would have like a callback or a memory and you hurt for her and like what their childhood was and like what they lost. But you also just like you just see Mel trying to be like the stand-up guy and
A
there's the
good
one
guy for
night,
her.
yeah. There's the night where he like isn't on duty, and that's when everything goes south for her, and he's beating himself up about it, but still like won't talk to her, like won't. I thought there was going to
It's
be some kind
classic
of
teen
reunion,
angst.
but of course, yeah, yeah. Um,
Poor guy.
and I think someone posted in the club about like, oh, he finally found his purpose. And I know you had talked about that before.
Yeah, he was very lost in knowing what to do because then he before like even their miscommunication with the kiss happens, like he doesn't know. He's like saying that he wants to leave, like he didn't want to be there because like why he's just becoming her glorified bodyguard. Like he didn't really
Hmm.
see he didn't
Hmm.
also see like how he could help her in terms of like if she has Grisha around her, like he's
Yeah.
powerful in that. And like, yeah, his purpose before was he was in the army, had like he's the honor, like you said. So
Hmm.
him having this tracking stuff does give him a purpose, and then them being like, okay, now it's you're the only option to find the third amplifier. But I think the point of this whole thing happening to the end is to show that like him and Alina should not be separated. They need to do this journey together no matter what.
Yeah.
Because they found the stag together. They didn't find the sea dragon together, but they were there together. Essentially, they
Yeah.
were forced to. And then now
Yeah.
they have to do the third one together. There's no way they could do this apart. So, I mean,
Hmm.
we open the third book and they separate. But, like, I think that was the idea, hopefully,
Hmm.
is that, like,
Yeah.
it's their journey and their story, not just. And that's why it connects back to how the beginning of each book is about like a boy and a girl. It's like before,
Hmm.
after. It's always the boy and the
Hmm.
girl. Never know. But we'll see. We're gonna dive right into it, and then we're gonna read it with the book club. So make sure to follow us on the app Fable. Look up Fay Tales podcast, and you can be able to, or just Fay Tales, read along with us and see our live reactions. I think that's a wrap though on Siege and Storm. Honestly, I feel like we went through it. We talked about it. We broke it down. Gave you our real honest raw reactions to it. So let us know your thoughts on Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo and all of Shadow and Bone and Grishaverse in general. Join our chats on the Fable app, like I mentioned 3 times, and on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. We are on all of them. Let us know. Let's chit chat. Let's talk. Let's converse. And yeah, we hope that you've enjoyed this breakdown and that you're gonna go out and read more and just overall happy reading.